Asking questions at the end of your interview is vital. Not only does it show that you are interested and invested into the role and the organisation, it also shifts the power dynamic to a more two-way mutual conversation. Hi everyone, my name's Harvey, and in today's video we're going to be discussing the best questions that you should be asking at the end of an interview. Let's get straight into it. To start things off, the worst thing you can do when asked if you have any questions is simply say, "No, we covered everything." This makes the conversation end a lot more abruptly and almost quite awkwardly, and could show that you're not as interested in the role as other candidates. Getting straight into it with the first example question, I would ask, what does the team look like? Or how does the team work? What is the structure? This is really good at showing you off to be a team player. It also shows that you can work collaboratively and that how you fit into the team and its dynamic is one of the focus points for you. This next question example, and this is my personal favourite, is to ask the interviewer, or the interviewers, however many there are, what they like about working within the company. This is a really good question to ask because it helps build a personal connection between you and the hiring managers. People like to be given a voice, they like to be given a platform, and after potentially a day of interviewing, the idea of being able to talk a little bit more about their own experiences, especially if they're passionate about what they do, is always going to go down well for you as a candidate. It's going to make them think more favourably of you, and they're going to remember that conversation a lot more than if you didn't ask. It's also a really good question from the candidate's point of view because they are getting a real-time testimony of what it's like to work within that organisation. You're essentially getting a reference for how it is to work there. And because you're kind of putting them on the spot a little bit, you're going to be likely to get a realistic answer. And a final example question that I would bring to the table is, what do the company's growth plans look like, and where do you see yourselves in 5 or 10 years? This is a really good question because it showcases longevity. And this is one of the most important things for a hiring manager when they're looking to fill a permanent vacancy. They want the comfort and reassurance that you're going to be there for the long term. They don't want to be spending money and allocating resources to someone who's going to be in the role for 5 or 6 months. Your question here shows that you're planning ahead and that you see yourself within the business for the long term. This might even incite further conversation about progression opportunities, development plans, CPD, all of that kind of stuff that's going to really get the conversation going even further. So I've given 3 examples because I always recommend that you come with at least 2 questions to an interview. You might have some time constraints, so having 2 in mind is good, but if you can have 3 questions, that is ideal. Okay, so we've spoken about what would work well, but let's talk about which questions you should definitely not ask at the end of your interview. I bang the drum on this with this channel, but please do not ask about salary or holiday entitlement or any other perks. This is not to kind of disregard this part of the role. Obviously, this is very important and will make up a large part of your decision making. I'm just saying that at the interview stage, I wouldn't recommend asking about the perks or the pay. I'd recommend that this conversation comes afterwards should you get the offer. If your first question, your first opportunity to say something for yourself and get some information for yourself is what are the perks and the pay, the interviewers are going to be a little bit worried that that is your only motivation. I've said it before, if that's your only motivation, then absolutely fine. It is for a lot of us. But I just wouldn't bring it to the interview. And also, please never ask about any background checks or any references that have to go through before you get the job. Asking if the hiring managers are going to be looking at your reference may show that you are concerned about what's going to come up on them, and it might just put a little bit of doubt in their minds. The same principle applies with the background checks as well. You don't want to put any kind of seed of doubt in the interviewer's minds because they're just going to select someone else. You may think that one was quite obvious. Believe me, I've been in some interviews where questions like that have been asked and it's not the best look. Okay, so those were the best questions and the worst that I would advise that you ask at the end of an interview. If it has helped, please do leave a like, leave a comment below, let me know your thoughts, and subscribe for more interview advice and careers related content. Yeah, that's everything from me. Thank you very much and have a lovely day.